All right, let's talk about a term you've definitely heard tossed around: human resource development. Now, I'm willing to bet that for most people, what comes to mind is, well, it's only a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle.
So let's just get right to it. What is human resource development? I mean, seriously, when you hear that phrase, what's the first word that pops into your head? If you're like most people, I'm guessing it's training, right?
And look, you're not wrong, but you're also not seeing the whole picture, not even close. So we're going to dive in because honestly, HRD is this huge, powerful field that's so much more than just a one-day workshop.
Yeah, this really nails the misunderstanding, doesn't it? What people think it is, training, maybe teaching someone how to use the new software. But what it really is, it's a total system for growth. And I'm talking about growth for everybody, the employees and the entire company.
You know, the best way to think about it is like an iceberg. Seriously. The training part, that's just the tip you can see above the water. But the real meat, the real power of HRD, well, that's the massive, huge part of the iceberg that's hidden underneath.
Okay, so what is all that stuff hiding under the water? To really get it, we've got to look at the official definition. Okay, here we go. An approach to the systematic expansion of people's work-related abilities focused on the attainment of both organizational and personal goals. I know, it sounds a little textbooky, but trust me, every single word in there is packed with meaning. So let's pull this apart. First, systematic expansion. That just means this isn't random. It's a real plan, a designed system for growth. Then there's people as a resource. This is a huge mental shift. It's about seeing your people as your greatest asset, full of potential, not just, problems to be managed. And finally, dual goal attainment. This right here is the magic. It means the system is built so that when the company wins, the employee also wins. It's not one or the other. You're growing your career and hitting your personal goals at the same time the company is hitting its goals. It's a win-win.
So, how does this actually work in the real world? It's time to dive below the surface of that iceberg. Let's go see what that massive hidden structure is really made of. What are the activities that make up this total system? Well, it all boils down to 5 core pillars. That's it. 5 key areas that are the foundation of what we're talking about here.
And boom, here they are. Just look at how broad this is. I mean, yeah, there's training right at the top, of course. That's our iceberg tip. But then look what else is under the water. Organization development. And we're not just talking about team-building exercises. This is about designing how teams work together to get stuff done. Then you've got education, things like career development, helping people plan their entire professional lives. Then there's system change. Think about how huge this is, managing the people side of a merger or a big reorg. And finally, human systems programs. This is the nuts and bolts, the architecture of how people work, performance reviews, compensation, all of it. See what I mean? Training is just one tiny slice of a much, much bigger pie. Okay, so if you're in this field, it's one thing to know about these 5 pillars, but how do you actually do it? How do you level up from just being a trainer to being a real HRD strategist?
Well, the source we're looking at gives a great game plan. First, you become a resource hub. Basically, you're the person who knows who to call, connecting managers to the right experts inside or outside the company. Second, you become a process consultant. Anytime a big change is happening, you're the expert on the people side of things. Third, and this one is so important, you champion human values. You have to be the advocate, the voice in the room that says, hey, how does this decision affect our people? And last but not least, you have to walk the talk. You've got to expand your own skills across all 5 of those pillars we just looked at.
And listen, this isn't just some academic theory. This big strategic way of looking at HRD is becoming absolutely essential for any business that wants to succeed in the future. It really all comes down to this, which this quote just nails perfectly. The main challenge is to correct the blind spot that so many managers have about the impact of change on the individual worker. That's it right there. The biggest job for HRD is to help leaders see what they often can't, how every single business decision lands on the actual human beings doing the work.
And the good news is companies are finally starting to get it. HRD isn't just some back office function anymore. We're actually seeing roles like Vice President of HRD pop up. That tells you this stuff is now a priority right at the very top.
So I want to leave you with one final thought, a question to take back to your own world. Is your organization really using the full iceberg? I mean, the whole strategic, human-centered system? Or
is it just playing around with the tip? Because how you answer that question might just determine where your company is headed. Thanks so much for joining me.